Thank you.
So is your question about the cost of changing? Is that?
Yeah, cost of change from CD to HD and whatever, and also for content. The content also have many formats, especially file formats, and also for secure. Many challenges we facing in our industry.
Maybe someone with recent change. Yeah, Dominic?
My advice to you would be to invest your money in the bits that won't change next time the format changes, or things that you can expand. Let me be clear, don't think about moving from SD to HD, HD to 3G. Forget formats. Okay? Whatever, the only things we can predict about the future, we can all speculate what's next, 4K, 6K, 8K, 4K, holographic TV, whatever. But what we do know is we're going to need to store content and we're going to need to know about content. Okay? If you invest in the parts that are format agnostic, invest your money there, you won't waste that money. You invest your money in video, not file formats and video. Every time you change from a file to a video, it's going to cost you a lot of money. Invest in the stuff that's going to grow, expand, and explore the cheaper options for the video side of it. And I think that's something that I haven't done enough of and haven't had the opportunity to do enough of. I've seen Miranda here, they've got ITX, there's Oasis, there's Channel in a Box, it's cheaper. We don't like to do it because we haven't had a chance to test it. But things like that, the cloud, is going to make that a lot easier. The cloud is just a load of servers and a load of storage. You can build your own cloud now. The technology is out there to do video on the cloud. It just takes a little bit more thinking about how we design systems around content rather than around format.
No, we're a technology panel here, but if you're a private company or private broadcaster, you want to invest you want to see where your investment, put it in the right content. Don't care about the format, because people will follow your content and see whatever your content, even if it's on mobile.
But we have also challenges, especially I have one system of news. When I need to create any content from other source to this system, we have a problem because it's not allowed for this format to
during the beginning of the year, when I talk on behalf of Al Jazeera, I think 3 to 4 months, if you watch just Al Jazeera, you don't see any content produced on a camera. Everything was on mobile. So, and people were, the increase of watching Al Jazeera and online and TV was tremendously high. Is it HD? It's the content, it's the type of content you produce.
But
and the story.
Even on the equipment, if you're buying new equipment, everything is, I don't know whether manufacturers are still producing SD equipment. Majority, maybe more than 95% of new equipment is HD only. So if you buy new equipment, I think you should buy HD.
I mean, this must be a cost issue amongst some of the other areas that don't have as much money.
Unfortunately, I think it's not only a cost issue, it's a management issue. Because if you make the wrong decision, and then you might have to pay more in the future. You have to manage your forecast right. Maybe what you need to do is to see the change that you need to do. Is it inevitable or is it not inevitable? For example, if a broadcaster will want to decide now if he wants to go to 3D or not to go to 3D. I think this is an open question and he doesn't need to worry about it. But if he wants to decide to go from SD to HD or not, then this is a question that everybody probably would agree that in the near future everything will turn into HD. So no matter what you do in the future, there will be no more SD and everybody will be transmitting on HD. Then you will see what you position yourself in the future. Are you going to be a broadcaster, a conventional, and you concentrate on the content that is broadcast in conventional ways, or you want to be, as Mr. Hassan saying, that you want to also be on different platforms and you don't care really about the quality more than the reach to your audience? Then you don't worry much about audience, about formats. You worry more about investing more in your content. But make sure that when you invest, think of what you will find yourself in 5 years' time. How do you think you're going to be?
Okay, you've just saved a lot on consultants' fees anyway.
Actually, I would like to add a comment about cloud because it's going to be a lot of work for this afternoon. The way I perceive it, it's like a great media over private wall. And if you apply the same principle over the bandwidth preservation for the SNG and OE and anything like that, it will be very useful for our cost of ownership. So this is the way I see it for the future, for today and the future. Thank you.
Okay, Amr next.
Rebecca?
We are speaking a lot about investing money in HD and 5.1 system. How do you see the trend in going to the interactive experience of the customer? Maybe they are beyond watching just TV as it is and going to more of a Facebook and YouTube experience. How do you see this affecting the technology and our conventional TV now?
Okay, yes.
I saw a lot of experiments actually, and it's there. You see a TV to become the future of TV to become a part of the family, where he can talk to you, he can listen to you, he can see you, and interact with you. And this is a fact because you can see now, even in the cars, everywhere. You give commands. The new iPhone it's more than command. You communicate with them. NHK are developing TVs that they have cameras and they see your behavior. When you're not interested in TV, they stop. They switch off. They change the channel. When they see kids, they stop the channel. So there is a revolution happening in the television industry, and we may see it soon, we may see it later, that will create a huge potential of interactivity between the viewers. Today, our friends in statistics, they said the rating of that program is 10 and 5 and 3, but they don't know if the viewers are sitting in their living room. They are maybe sitting in another room and just a set of boxes on. So the interactivity and the communication between the viewer, broadcaster, and advertiser will be a major change in the future of television.
Okay, so that's something that...
I was going to say, I think interactivity is a sort of natural progression. Being able to get people to interact on Facebook, Twitter, and everything else with news shows and doing real-time votes and stuff is it's very good, and it's certainly somewhere we're moving to, and it's certainly somewhere most of the European channels have moved to. When you come to interactivity such as like the red button and stuff like that on Sky, for example, I'm not sure how successful that's been in Sky. I don't think it's necessarily taken off or been a driver as much as they thought it would be. People, again, coming back to content is king. They want to be able to watch something, they may want to comment about it. Pushing a red button to go and see an advert on something else isn't necessarily something that they want to do. So I think the first set of interactivity with Facebook, social media, very good. The other type, I don't think it's got much more sort of distance in it.
Would you agree they're content issues rather than technology issues?
It's a user experience.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's simply whatever the user wants. It's not about, to be honest, the technology will follow. If the user wants to watch the program and at the same time open the Facebook page of the program and communicate, then they have to find a way to put Facebook part of the screen. I don't know. I'm just it's about the user. If he wants it this way, then we have to deliver it this way. There's no question about it.
And Sky News, I know in the UK does a lot of that sort of interactivity and stuff.
If you've seen Sky News HD on OSN, you'll see the side panels, which is about trying to give the viewer background that you can't say. I mean, Sky News is all about getting news out there quickly and concisely because of people's attention spans largely. But there's in-depth stats around it and history and what have you on the side panels. The next evolution of that is the partner app on the iPhone or the iPad or whatever tablet. You're watching the TV and metadata about, or content metadata about what you're watching on the TV and on your iPad, then you can have the interactivity with Twitter, blah, blah, blah. There's a company out here who's doing it. I read about it in Broadcastpro. I can't remember the name.
Oh, there's a lot. There's a lot.
But that, for me, brings us back to content. Content's no longer audio and video, it's audio
metadata.
And metadata has become content. I think Dorothy touched on metadata earlier. Metadata is not just title and date and who produced it and where it was anymore. It's about all of the stuff surrounding that piece of video and audio content, all of the history, and presenting that to the viewer, the customer, and then bringing back their views on it and interacting that with what's going on the television is where we're going now.
It's a good question. I think it's actually something we'll come back to in the afternoon panel with the CEOs, because I want to know what they think of that. So, is there any more? Yes. Sorry. Thank you.
The topic for discussion today, is it working? Is the future of television. But I guess most of the discussion went off on HD, which I think we are almost into HD. Half of the world is already transformed into HD, and the rest everyone is getting into it. Something on 3D. I mean, surprisingly, none of the panelists touched the topic on 3D. Is it that the panelists do not believe in? Or what?
It's not a belief thing.
Is the hype created by the TV manufacturers, or is it something which the broadcasts are endorsing? Because I know for sure that 2454 has invested into a couple of 3D labs. I'm sure there is a demand.
No,
I think it would be interesting to get, an input from each of the broadcasters' perspective. Are these guys seriously considering it?
Sure. Yep. I think we had a long list of things to cover, so we could easily have been here for another couple of hours. So 3D very quickly.
3D, we have the 3D lab before we launched it in the summer, and it's getting hard. Personally, I don't believe 3D TV will become a standard in the next 10 years probably. So 3D for us is not 3D television necessarily. 3D can be feature films, can be events, can be gaming, can be animation. So 3D for education, for industrial applications. But 3D TV will produce, not produce, will provide services for 3D television, some shows, short clips and so on. Personally, I don't think 3D television, watching TV at home in stereoscopic 3D will become the standard. I don't know whether it will become a standard.
I think it will stay. It will stay, but it will never dominate, or it will never be the trend, like where most people will go for it. We will be seeing sports in 3D, wildlife in 3D, movies in 3D, but it will be maybe a channel out of 50. So that's why.
What's another experience?
Yeah, we already have. We offer 3D content as part of the push-form service at the moment. I don't think we'll ever see a linear, I think we'll ever see, but I think a linear 3D channel is a long way off in the region. I think it feeds into that on-demand, particular event-based kind of area.
And is there a format issue here with 3D? Yes, Dr. Ian?
Well, I tend to agree with my colleague Hassan about the positioning of 3D for broadcasting. Not only in this part of the world, but even maybe in other parts of the world. 3D, my own personal view, that is largely pushed now, or in the past couple of years, by screen manufacturers. Not really because we have enough content, because 3D maybe is ideal and suitable in the movie theaters. In cinemas, I would totally agree that maybe in some point of time, most of the high feature films, they will be produced in 3D, and it will be an enjoyable experience for those who want to do that and who want to go to the theater. But whether we want to have a 3D material being watched in our living room, but do we really appreciate that? That remains to be a question to be answered. So broadcasters maybe don't need to worry about 3D at the moment, unless they are a broadcaster who deliver premium content specifically, maybe let's say some drama or maybe some sports. Although some sports until now, the present techniques that are being used, it does not make additional enjoyment for the viewer. For example, if you see now a football match in 3D, sport, many people, they don't enjoy it because still the state of technology doesn't give you the right depth of field for that sport. Other types of sports, maybe tennis or ping pong or other swimming, maybe you can see the 3D effect, but not with sports where they have long length of
I think